Oh boy, I see my subscribers and word. Beautiful day. So what is this? My channel has 489 subscribers. Oh yes. So how I get a community tab? So do you want a community tab? Just you should reach my subscribers with theirs. Bye bye.